I'm not sure how well you guys can see this, but there's a tumulus, a mound where those trees are ahead. I'm not sure if you can make that out. And that's a round barrow, and going around it is a small rim and a ridge. So there's like a ditch, and there's a ridge on the right hand side as you're looking at it, which encircles the tumulus. And that's how they used to build them, with sort of an outer levee, if I can put it like that. I'm not sure how well this is going to come out on film, so I may or may not post this. Yeah, can you see that ditch going along there? It's great, isn't it? I walked right over this just a minute ago, and then I looked at the ditch and thought, oh, that looks a bit man-made, and then I stopped and looked and go, oh yeah, I'm standing right. I'm actually standing on top of one. Didn't even realise was there. So we're just coming up to the long stone. This is one of two gate stones or marker stones for a long barrow. Long barrow is a burial mound, just like the round barrow is a burial mound. Long barrow is a long burial mound. It doesn't hurt to be a rocket scientist, but it helps in this business. These predate the round barrows. These go back actually to an age before. These go back to the Neolithic age. So these are even earlier. This is the only megalith on the island. Megas meaning great or big, and lithos meaning stone, Greek for stone. It's 13 feet high. That's 3.9 meters. And you get a sense of power for this place. This actually wasn't the original location for these stones. They've actually been moved slightly, but this would have been a meeting place for the tribes of the time. Up on the hill there, just in the middle of the screen, you can just see at the top there would have been an old fortified settlement. That's Iron Age, that comes later, but they took over this land, they use this land. That's up there. And again, you really get an understanding of the spiritual significance of this place. This is, again, place of the dead. It would have had political significance because we've got this great big towering megalith here, monolith even. So you get the sense that the tribe here would have been one of the most important tribes on the island, if not the most important. So long stones made out of green sandstone. That's it was probably quarried from there's a vein not very far away, a few hundred yards. They didn't bring it very far. There are actually two of them. There's a smaller one there, you can see that's at its base. Indeed, Motterson is probably named after this stone because it probably means the speaker's stone, which is referring to the meeting place here. So there would have been two standing side by side like this, and the second is now here at the base. And I'll superimpose some of my photos from another long barrow. It's called West Kennet long barrow, so that you get an idea of what the barrow would have looked like. The barrow actually no longer exists here, sadly. Again, they brought these stones locally, not from Stonehenge. They actually took the stones, they actually quarried them in Wales, which is quite a long way away, and there's been lots of supposition about how they brought them here. Did they float them on river? Did they, drag them on wooden logs and all this kind of thing? And no one actually really knows, and almost certainly never will. But this they just took locally. But this really would have had significance. And it's fantastic, isn't it? I mean, it's just connecting sort of history of the past. It's beautiful. You can see it's sandstone. It's eroding. It's weathering away. This sort of rusty, oxidized colour. And I got a little visitor. Let's go up and see if he wants to say hello. Bonjour mon vache. Comment allez-vous? Bonjour. 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 Oh, okay. I will speak French to cows. I just think it sounds nicer. For some reason. It seems to soothe them. So here we have the long stone, down there in the middle of the screen with the cow. And here we have the Iron Age settlement. This is, again, this is later. This would have been just pre-Roman colonization, and there would have been a fortified wooden palisade in a sort of a rough square shape going around the crown of this hill. And the peoples here would have been farming the land all around, getting fish from the sea. That sort of cliff over there, that's steadily eroding. I'm not exactly certain of the exact rate of erosion, but it's a few meters a year, so if you extrapolate that, then a few thousand years ago the sea would have been, what, about half a mile to a mile further away, but certainly still close enough for these people to have had fishing settlements over there, fishing excursions, and they would have been, you know, trading local produce, wood, herbs, maybe berries, livestock products, all that kind of thing, for, you know, the fish and the bounty of the sea. And there's the bull. He's almost as well endowed as... Okay, let's not go there. Just on the way back, guys, this is sort of it tucked in the foot of one of the hills, one of the downs. This is the remains of a lime kiln. This was this dates back from the 19th century, where they took the chalk from the hills. As you can see up above, it's all sort of chalky. Stick it in there and burn it and turn it into quicklime, and then they can turn it into things like mortar and plaster for building, and they would also use it for spreading over the fields to reduce the acidity in the soil, because again this is quite an acidic area. So there is a 19th century lime kiln. I just want to show you guys this quickly. This is from the darker episode of English history. You know, the Germans have had Nazis, America's had slavery, Canada's got Justin Bieber. This is part of ours. On the side of this building here, there's a depiction of a ship of the line, a ship. I'm not quite sure how well you can see this, but there's these portholes going along here, and this is from the days of cockfighting, and they would tally up the scores in two horizontal lines, and for each win they would etch out a little hole in the wall, and then when the powers that be came along looking for evidence of illegal activity, they would turn it into a picture of something else, in this case a ship, so that it looks all nice and innocent. So hey guys, I thought I'd quickly show you this. It's in a village called Calbourne. Here's the old village water pump. Hasn't been used in a while. And the reason I wanted to bring you here was for a place called Winkle Street, which is down the bottom. But if we come down here, you can see you can't drive down here. There's a couple, $3. It's alright guys, I'm not going to hurt you. It's more in the pond over there. This is called Winkle Street, and it's a sort of a cutesy street. I certainly wouldn't buy a house here, simply because all the coaches come in the summer and everyone gets out, and I've got scaffolding up, so it's not so good looking today, and they come and take photos just like I'm doing, peer in people's windows, see what they're having for tea. It's quite, you know, a nice looking little street. got the little babbling brook, got all the thatched cottages, having those done up. And on it goes, but I wouldn't come live here. No privacy. There you go. And they've got an art gallery at the end, I think, something like that. But you can appreciate without the scaffolding and the tan coloured thatch, it's quite nice looking on the whole. And a lovely weeping willow. There you go, these ducks have become fed up with the pond and are going on the green. This is, so you don't know, so you know, this is called the village green. Just an area of common ground, grass for sort of recreational purposes. Just to expand upon the idea of the green, because a lot of you might not know what they are. This is Finching Field in Essex, apparently the most photographed place in Britain, but don't they all say that? The green is an extenuation of what's called common land, which is, in England, you used to have an area set aside for villagers so they could come and graze livestock or horses, collect firewood, or cut turf for fuel. That still exists in some areas. You still have places called commons. That's continued over. Places like Wimbledon Common, where the Wombles used to roam, yeah, and Clapham Common. So that carries on. And the village green is, there's some rules over it that it's still an area where it's land allotted for the recreation of the inhabitants of any locality, and it's also where anyone has a right to engage in lawful sports and pastimes. So it's an area of grass, the village green now. The village green is an area of grass which is essentially a park. Usually it's in the centre of a village, but it may have moved depending on how the village has expanded or if the green's moved. Bonjour ma vache. Comment allez-vous? Ouais, je vais bien. Aimez-vous le lait? Aimez-vous beaucoup de lait? Non, je n'aime pas le lait. La plume de ma tante. Fan.